Yo, what's up, family? What's happening? 6:30. Time to get a little sharper. What's happening with you? My question off the bat is, are you nearsighted or are you farsighted? Need to know that. But we're going to talk some more about that here in a second. But family, what's happening? Hope you're doing well. Little rush today. Y'all bear with me today because little rush and traveling. I'm excited because it's our first week of competition. Because all of y'all know, most of y'all know, became the coach here at University of Maryland Eastern Shore. So I'm excited. I'm excited. It's our first tournament this weekend, so it don't take much for me to be excited anyway. So I'm overly excited. Then it's Thursday, 6:30. It's time to get a little sharper. And now y'all know how I feel about this on Thursday. So I'm here to make it do what it do. And hey, let's just go. Let's just do it. Y'all bear with me because I didn't get a chance to really do and get myself like I like to be, but thank God I did read it. I know what I wanted to speak about on today. So, but look, let's do this. Babe, love you. Miss you. I miss you. Miss my wife. Y'all show my wife some love, please. But, look, so, all right, look, what we always do. Let's go ahead and get started because I'm so excited. Let's do what we do. Let me pipe myself down for a second. Let's get into the mode that we're supposed to be in. Let's do what we always do. Okay. On the count of three. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. All right. Here we go. So hopefully that deep breath is what you needed, just like me. Let me pipe myself down a little bit because it's just been a rush type of a day. We've been on the move all day since 6 o'clock this morning. But it's a beautiful day. It's an absolutely beautiful day, and I'm just thankful to God for what He has already done and what He's yet doing. So look, you stay focused, do what it is you need to be doing so that you can reach your goals and your dreams. Okay. Keep chipping away at it. Okay. No, you haven't gotten there yet. Okay. You feel like you're almost there. And then some of y'all feel like you are nowhere close. But trust me, you doing a little bit, at least a little bit every day is getting you that much closer. Now, I'm not telling you something you don't already know, but I'm here to encourage you to keep going. I'm here to encourage you to keep pushing forward. Don't stop. Don't quit. Keep going. Okay. Whatever it is, there's purpose in your heart to achieve that you really want to achieve. It's not going to always be easy. It's not going to always feel good, but you got to keep going. Keep chipping away at the progress. You will get there. So keep pushing. All right. So look, let's do this. We're in Genesis 25. Okay. Y'all was with me last week on Genesis 24. Now we're moving on to 25. Okay. And here we are in chapter 25. And, you know, if you had listened to me previously, I talked about Abraham and him had to lay his wife to rest. But then he started putting some things in order because sometimes when we hear of someone else's demise, it kind of wakes us up to reality that tomorrow's not promised. And so, I think Abraham had that moment after his wife passed saying, you know what, I think I need to start getting some things in order. And so he did that in chapter 24. So then we move on to chapter 25. And sure enough, it's that time. Abraham takes his last breath. But before he takes his last breath, he makes sure that he gets Isaac taken care of. And after he gets Isaac taken care of, his sons that he has from his concubines, he made sure that he gave them something and sent them on their way. And so it's just another way also, if you read in chapter 25, it's just another way of God keeping his promise through Abraham that he would be the father of many nations. And that's exactly what happened. And so Abraham gave them, all his sons, something, sent them on their way so that they could be a blessing somewhere else, so that they can grow, so they can prosper, and so they can be the nation that they were called to be. And so even at death, before his death, that was happening. And after his death, it just continued to go on, right? So that's chapter 25. And then also talking about his other son, Ishmael. Ishmael, that he had a son from Hagar. And y'all know that whole soap opera drama that I talked about a few weeks ago between Sarah and Hagar. Hagar is the mother of Ishmael. Sarah was the mother, or is the mother of Isaac. And so here we have Ishmael now. This is Abraham's son, other son. And again, they talked about God made the promise that he would be the father of many nations through his descendants. So, of course, Isaac is one of his descendants. Ishmael is one of his descendants. And sure enough, same thing with Ishmael. Through him, he had kids, and on down the line. And you saw that they continued to, matter of fact, he had 12. He had 12, and there was 12 tribes that came from Ishmael through his kids, right? And so, again, just another way of God manifesting his word, his promise through through Abraham and his descendants on down, right? And so, but the thing about Ishmael that I want to touch on here real quick and make it, hopefully you can make this relatable to us. Okay, it's not just Ishmael, but I want to talk about Abraham and Isaac as well in this instance, where the one thing I got out of this right here was generational. Okay, generational things. And when we talk about a lot of times we want to talk about the bad, which is the generational curses, which is some we do need to be mindful of and some we do need to talk about. And we're going to talk about that here briefly. But we also want to talk about generational blessings, right? So it's not just the bad. Let's talk about the good as well. Generational blessings, generational curses. They both happen. We see it all the time, right? And in this case right here, Abraham he passed on generational blessings as well. Okay. And so that's why he was able to give to not only Isaac everything that he had. That's what it said in here, but he also gave to all of his other sons and included Ishmael. Okay. And so they were able to go out and be, from Ishmael, he had tribes, and from Isaac, he had kids as well. But the bottom line was Abraham was able to pass on some blessings to his kids, right? Now, I want to touch on the bad side of that with Ishmael, because with Ishmael, and if you read it, I'm going to read it for you right here in chapter 25, the very last verse. It says, Ishmael's descendants occupied the region from Havilah to Shur, which is east of Egypt in the direction of Ashur. There they lived in open hostility toward all their relatives. And the reason why I wanted to read that right there is because if you go back, and we talked about it before, but if you go back to chapter 16, when he was born, okay, I want to read this right here. This is chapter 16, verse 12. This son of yours will be a wild man, as untamed as a wild donkey. Now, this is talking about the birth of Ishmael. This is when Ishmael was born. He will raise his fist against everyone, and everyone will be against him. Yes, he will live in open hostility against all his relatives. So here we have Ishmael. This is what happened when he was born, right? And then here in chapter 25, it talks about his descendants, and they lived in open hostility toward all their relatives. So here we're talking about generational curses right here, right? So it started with Ishmael and it's passed on down. And unfortunately, some of that same hostility we see and hear about today in so many different ways, right? In so many different parts of the world, we hear it. And so just understand, and I guess what I really want us to get out of this is that we can pass on generational blessings just like we can pass on generational curses. Okay. And it's up to us on which one we're going to pass on. Okay. Okay. If you think about it, our kids have a tendency to have certain attributes about us that they carry. Okay. There's certain things, how many would say you just like your daddy or you just like your mama, right? Okay. We all have said it. We all have seen different situations where the attributes of our parents is what we carry on. Now, as a parent, it's also my responsibility to make sure I'm pointing to my child as much as I can from a positive way. Okay. Now, the negative part of that, I need to check myself, make sure that what I'm passing on to my child, to my descendants, is something that's going to benefit and not be a harm. Okay. Now, all of us have sinned and come short of the glory of God, right? We don't always dot every I and cross every T. We mess up, we screw up, and sometimes our kids see it. They witness it. They experience it. I think one of the things that we have to do is not only pray, ask God for help, but ask him, if you really want to make a difference, you really want to make a change, be open and honest and say, God, show me what it is I need to fix in me. Okay, because sometimes we have done some mistakes. We've done some things that we probably shouldn't have done or didn't want to do, or we might have did them because we wanted to do it. But then we realized it might not have been the best thing to do. And we pass that on to our kids. It's okay to go back and say, you know what, I was wrong. And I think that's one of the ways that we can break the generational curse, is when we actually admit, I was wrong. I apologize. That allows some healing to take place. And that allows our descendants, our kids, our grandkids, our great grandkids, they will be able to see that I have someone that I look up to that admitted that they were wrong. So maybe it's okay I do the same thing. Okay? So I just want us to think about how we can break that curse. It could be anything. You can fill in the blank. But let's just kind of take some focus, take some inventory on those parts of our life, because it can make a difference in our generation down the road. Those generations that's coming after us, right? So just something for you to think about. I got that out of chapter 25, and I just wanted to share that with you. And just on the contrary, I don't want to just focus on the negative. I want to focus on the positive, because we want to make sure that we're passing some good stuff on down to our descendants as well. And I'm talking about money. Yes, I am talking about money. I'm talking about stuff and things, but I'm also trying to make sure that we are passing on some good virtues, some good morals, some good standards. Okay. That's also some generational blessings that we can pass on to our descendants, is teaching them how to be able to talk to people, teach them how to be respectful, how to earn respect by giving respect. There's a lot of things that we can pass on that's going to benefit our descendants. That's going to be a blessing to our descendants. And it's not always stuff and things. It's not always money. Now, do pass on some money too. Okay. Because we all need some money to live this life. Okay. Okay. We need that dollar bill, right? Okay. But it's not all about the dollar bill. I'm not that generational. I'm not that prosperity preaching type of guy. Stuff and things is nice. Nothing wrong with having it, but that's not everything. Okay. We need to be able to pass on some things to our kids that can show other folk that they know how to respect. They know how to talk to people. They know how to be mindful of their surroundings, because you never know who's watching. Okay. I think y'all got my point out of that right there. I'm going to make my last point. I'm going to get out of your way, because as you read on in chapter 25, this is also chapter 25 is where you have Esau and Jacob get born. Okay. Get born. Y'all don't use that. Y'all, okay. Y'all know I'm country anyway. But in chapter 25, here we have Jacob and Esau. They're born, and they are the kids of Rebekah and Isaac. Okay. And so, this is pretty interesting as well. And I'm gonna quickly go through this, read it for yourself. You can read the whole story for yourself. But in this situation, you pretty much had Esau they were twins, and Esau was born first. And then, Jacob, as it says, was grabbing at his heel. As Esau was born, Jacob was grabbing at his heel. So they was at each other in the mama womb. And mama couldn't understand why. She even seeking God as to, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening in my womb when my boys are already at each other, and they ain't even been born yet, right? And so unfortunately, I ain't say unfortunately born, but after they're born, A lot of this stuff still goes on. But here's the thing I really want you to get out of chapter 25, the end of chapter 25, when it comes to Esau and Jacob. So Esau was, because he was the firstborn, he had certain rights. He had certain privileges that he would get down the road simply because of him being the firstborn, right? And the story goes on where he was out there hunting and doing this thing, and he came in the house. He was hungry. He was like you ever had those moments where you get that you hangry, right? Because you started getting a headache because you so hungry, right? And all you can think about is, I just got to eat something. I just got to eat something. So I'm looking at Esau being in that same situation. So Jacob is in the house. He done cooked some. Okay. So he got his cook on, and he done hooked the food up, made some stew, some red stew. And, Esau, let me get some of that. Let me get some of that, bro. I'm hungry. Now Jacob want to hold ransom over the food. Now this is your own brother, right? This is your own brother. Wow. But anyway, he holds the stew ransom. He was like, all right, I give you some, but you got to give me your birthright. You give me your birthright, then I'll give you some of this stew. Esau was like, okay, fine. He can have it. Ain't no big deal to me. What is that birthright going to do for me right now? What good is that for me right now to have this birthright? I'm hungry right now. I need to get it right now. This is what I want us to get out of this right here. Now, I asked the question from the beginning. Are you nearsighted or are you farsighted? Because in this situation, unfortunately, Esau was nearsighted. All he can see was the right now stuff. I need this food right now. Now, Esau was already a guy who can go out there and hunt. That's the reason why it talks about Isaac loved Esau, because he loved the food that he would bring, because he was a hunter. He was out there going to make it happen. Rebekah loved Jacob. Okay. We'll talk more about that later. But in this instance right here, Esau can go out here and go grab, and he can go hunt for what he wants, right? Because that was just how he was. But this food, his hunger, his need, his mindset towards the food was so strong that it just captured all of his vision right now, that he could not think about the future. And I bet you if Esau was able to turn the tables back, roll back the hands of time, and take the time and think about what he was doing before he did it, I don't think he would have sold his birthright to his brother. And so what I'm getting at today for us is that if you're nearsighted, I need you to start praying and ask God to help you. Because unfortunately, some of us, we want the stuff and things right now. We see what we can get right now without thinking about down the road. And we lose the farsightedness. I might have made that word up. If I did, hey, y'all get it. But I really think we need to stop and think about our future. Because see, right now we're looking at the shiny new toy, the new car, the clothes, the new home, the new stuff and things right now. And sometimes, I'm going to talk about the money piece a little bit, but we'll actually get ourselves in debt because we want it so bad right now because it looks so good, it smells so good, it feels so good, it sounds so good. But then, just a little bit later, we realize that really want all that. And what did I give up down the road? What peace of mind did I give up down the road? Esau gave up him being in the position of being, I'm just going to call it the shot caller, the leader. Which means he's in a power position to be able to make all kinds of different things happen that could be a benefit to him and his family or whoever he wanted to help. But he gave that up because all he could see was right now. So my prayer for you, and I hope it's your prayer for yourself, is that God would help you to see how important is it for me to have that right now? Is it that important? Is it really going to make a difference in my future if I get it right now? Or what if I was to wait? What if I was to wait it out? What if I was to hold on to the promise? What if I was to just say, hold on, I'm good right now. No, I don't have everything I want, but I got what I need and I know where I'm heading. That's the reason why we got to have vision. That's the reason why we got to know where we're going. That's the reason why we got to have goals and dreams. And I always tell you, write the vision, make it plain. You got to know where you're going, or at least where you want to be, so you can start working in that direction, so that God can help you with your farsight. I'm just use my made up word, farsightedness, because sometimes our nearsightedness gets us away from the promise and the blessings of God. And I want you to be blessed now, but I want you to also be blessed down the road, so that not only you will be blessed, but your descendants will be blessed as well. Read chapter 25, and I hope it's a blessing to you. I hope what I said tonight was a blessing to you. We just trying to get a little bit better every week. So I appreciate you tuning in. That's what the Anti-Negativity Network is all about. Us just trying to be a little bit better every day. And tonight for us is to take some self-inventory to make sure that we're passing to our descendants more good than bad. And if there's any bad, that we see it, we speak to it, we deal with it, and we move forward. Because we want to make sure our children and our children's children are in a better position than we are. I love you. I'm going to see you next week at 6:30. Thank you. I appreciate you. Love you. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Come on here.